I am Alexis Barbero. I own Schwartz Design Showroom. We are a family business. We've been in business 75 years. We were retail for 50 plus, and we've been trade only since then. We do have, oh, does this have to be over? You can talk a little louder. Okay, can you guys hear me in the back? Thank you. Okay. We did open our brand new headquarters in Edison, New Jersey. We were first a New Jersey-based business. We are in Edison. It's central to the state. We work with a lot of designers who are in Rumson, who are in the south, maybe you know the shore area, Spring Lake, and then we also work with designers north. So Edison is really right in the middle of the state, very easily accessible. If you have clients who are down the Jersey Shore, we are like 7 minutes off the Parkway. We have a 12,000 square foot showroom that we've been able to open up and curate, and it's amazing. Obviously, you guys know Stanford. And I had a unique opportunity to take over an incredible space in Peapack Gladstone, which is in the western part of New Jersey. I just say it's horse country. It's funny, when I was first taking Tracy there, we were in 2 different cars, and she calls me, she's like, "Are you sure we're not in Connecticut?" I'm like, "No, this is Jersey, okay? We've got this too." So it's like such a compliment, I think, to the industrial, and to have that warm barn experience. It was such an amazing opportunity for us. So for those who know, who have been to High Point, you're gonna really appreciate these. So use VIP transportation. I was saying that basically you never know, you kind of have to party your way through High Point because you have to keep it up. You get to a point where your feet are numb and you're like, maybe a cocktail would help that. So, you know, you gotta find your own way. Obviously stay fully hydrated. You don't know, again, is it tequila or is it water? We don't know. We don't ask. It's fine. Be open to bringing new people. This was something that was so important to me to do this time, which I'll go into later. But as you know, even just hearing from your like designers, it's so great to get different perspectives, and it's sometimes difficult to find those. So when you're open to it, the sky's the limit. Oh, and of course, put your feet up. Whenever the moment hits and you have an opportunity to get into some power recliner, which you claimed you would never ever go into because they're so hideous, you get in those recliners and you put your feet up. Oh, we thought this was really funny. Find knowledgeable tour guides. You know, you just have to make it through. Like, you know, you get to that end point and you're like, all right, we're gonna really, hi, no, come on in. This is what you walked into. Come on in. I wanted to take a moment to introduce our panel here. I'll just say a little bit about each of them. I know you probably have been seeing on our social media and through our email marketing campaigns, all thanks to Tracy Heineman, who runs all of our PR, social media, and marketing. She has literally done such an incredible job in elevating the brand and really taking whatever I have in my head and transforming it. So she's amazing. And she wouldn't put a slide in of herself, but this is Tracy. She's so integral. We really have been focusing on art and accessories, and it's something that we've been hearing from our clients for a long time. And to be honest, since we opened here and then opened Edison, it was really just an afterthought. I just couldn't grasp it. I couldn't get my hands around it. So I knew I needed to really try to reach out and find the best people and the best team possible. Heather Mahalik, this was her first time going to High Point. She has been working with us for
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
I met her because she sent me an email. By the way, are you hiring? And I was like, oh my God, I think we are. Cut to her fiance's mom and my mom knew each other 50 years ago. True story, which is crazy. But I just wanted to have Heather take a moment and tell you about her experience and where she's come from and what she's doing now.
Hi, I'm Heather. I am mainly out of the Edison, New Jersey location. I went to school for interior design at Endicott College in Massachusetts. Since then, after graduating, I worked as an in-house interior designer for a retail store in the Princeton area of New Jersey. Then moved on to work with a great luxury interior designer in the Homedale, New Jersey location. And then COVID happened and there was a little bit of a lull. and I stumbled upon Schwartz via Google, and I reached out to Alexis, and I've been there ever since.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather. It's another Heather. We did walk around market saying it's the Heathers, and we did make sure that young Heather knew what that was, but she didn't know who Farrah Fawcett was. But that's another story. So many of you know and have the pleasure of knowing Heather Desmond and her incredible eye and her experience. Just having the opportunity to work and collaborate with Heather and having her be a part of our team has been such a gift, and we're so lucky. So Heather, can you just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got here?
Sure. I have, just naturally, I'm a very visual person. I love all things beautiful. From a family standpoint, I'm rooted in the industry. My husband's a custom home builder. My sister herself is an interior designer. I, about 12 years ago, started my own journey in interior or in home decor at a shop in Westport called Bungalow, near and dear to my heart. Was there for 10 years as a buyer, loved it. Took a little hiatus about maybe a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. And then Alexis approached me last February and said, you willing to throw your hat in the ring again? And I said, sure, why not? So here I am, and I'm really pleased to be part of this amazing team. It's really a great showroom, and I'm very happy to be here.
Perfect. So I think most, if not all of you, or if you haven't been to High Point, you know it could get a little bit of the routine, a little bit mundane. I have gone for 19 years, twice a year, except for maybe 2 when I birthed my kids, you know? So you get into that same routine. I picked it up from my mom, who really approached market from a retail furniture store perspective versus like a design showroom perspective. So, you know, starting when do these reps start calling me, you know, like 6 weeks before market. It's like, where's your appointment? Who are you going to see? You know, going from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and really depleting your soul and not feeling like you had any energy left to be open to finding new things. And I really decided this market that I was going to take a step back. As I mentioned, I went, Tracy did come with us as well. And between the 3 of you, they had never been to High Point, North Carolina. So I said, no, they were virgins. I was like, we're going to get through it, girls. Don't worry. But what I said to them was, I'd like for you to all see all of the different people who show in High Point and make a list. And I just did whatever their list said. And it was so freeing for me because I was not spending 8 hours going through one showroom looking at the new waterfall skirt or the dressmaker skirt. Not that those things are not important, but with COVID, a lot of the showrooms hadn't done anything different and hadn't introduced anything different. I will say, I do think this October is going to be a very important market. So if anybody was thinking of going, I do think it's going to be a place and time when they're going to show a lot of new. So what we did was we focused again, knowing we were going to really do the art and the accessories. Heather made this list, and it's so funny. I mean, literally on your list, I think there were 2 names. And I sort of went, oh my God, I've been doing this for 19 years, twice a year, and I only know 2 people.
There were a lot of new ones for me as well, because the lion's share of my experience was in Europe at Maison Objet.
Right.
So a lot of, oh sure, oh yeah, no, a lot of my experience was at Maison Objet in Europe. So a lot of the vendors were also new to me. So I had to rely on websites, Instagram, like, do I want to go there? Do I not want to go there? Is this a single check? Is this a double check? Like, how important is this? Because one thing I didn't realize, and usually you go to these trade shows and it's all very hyper-focused in one building. This is all over. I mean, you're in buses, you're in tuk-tuks, you're in, I mean, you're on your feet, you're everywhere. So it was kind of like I had to map it out and figure out, is this worth the 10-minute drive? Right. Or is this a waste of time?
Right.
And that was interesting. But I think all in all,
we did it. The only thing I did was I did the math because I know where things are. I do. So like it was like, okay, we're going to group this here for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. But and it was really great. And again, just opening up to some of these new accessory and art. And by chance, we also found really unique new furniture. I mean, again, it is amazing when you open yourself up what you can find. So the power of a good edit, we don't need to tell you, but we wanted to really take a moment and talk about it. So this is an example of a manufacturer that we bought from Lily's Living. I had recognized the name, and I literally said to Heather, I have walked by this probably 8 times, and I never even went in because this is what I saw. And I was like, oh no, that's not us. However, once we went in and and Heather's like, no, I actually know them. I've worked with them. We can really curate. So that's really where Heather's experience and knowledge was invaluable to us. Not just your eye, but you understand the story and the groupings and how to create something. Oh, don't worry, I'm back. Don't worry.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing about that is you really have to, with these trade shows, and if you do go, give every showroom a chance. Give the little tiny one that you walk by and you're like, oh, God, just walk in, give it 2 seconds, because you never know what's going to be in there.
Right.
This particular showroom, it may not be styled the way that you're drawn to, but you're going to walk in and for example, those black pieces up there, those are Indonesian wedding stones, and there's a story behind them. And this beautiful travertine bowl. If you don't give it a chance, it's like treasure hunting. You have to walk in. You've got to walk every row. That is something that I learned over the years, and it's so important. So you never know what you're going to find. So always walk in with an open mind.
Absolutely. And so here are just some different things that we found with all of these different vendors. And again, to Heather's point, and this is what we want to be able to bring to you and to your clients, is that curated eye. Not everybody can go to High Point every year, every trade show, but we would love to be considered one of your trusted vendors that when you come in here, you will find something that would be work in one of your projects. These are all just...
There they are.
Oh, there they are. Here they are. Again, just really unique objects, knowing the backstory and how they can group together. It is interesting. I was saying to Heather, for so many years, For so many years, I was in that routine of the global views and the made goods. And not that to discount them at all, but I really always felt we were missing more of that organic, one-of-a-kind, interesting piece that you can then mix with all of the biggies, but that wouldn't be maybe at every home store in Westport, and having the ability to have unique items for your clients.
And there's a place for everything.
There's a place for everything. What also was very important to me, which has been very important to me in how I choose new vendors to work with and partner with, we understand that there are budgets. There's budgets with every project. I always want designers to feel comfortable and confident that they can come in here and work on a high, a low, a little bit of a mix. I want us to be seen as somebody who can, work with a $20,000 budget, of 50, 100, whatever it may be. But I want to be able to have those vendors that are there that you can mix and create these incredible environments with. Oh, and I was just going to say too, just to go back, obviously, as you all know, again, is that accessories tie the project together. A lot of times, I think people feel like it's like at the end, the budgets are low, everything's been depleted from the construction, the furniture, etc. However, it is so important whether you're styling for a photo shoot, which, by the way, if you are, come in, let us know. Let us know you're styling for a photo shoot. You don't have to say, oh, we want to be there and to help you, build out those, accessorize those spaces that are appropriate for you to take pictures of.
A lot of times when you style it, it's going to be done so well that the client's going to say, oh, I have to keep it.
Right.
So you're going to style it for the photo shoot, they're going to fall in love with it, and then they're going to end up buying it.
Right.
So, which is good for your bottom line.
It's just taking the whole project from A to Z, not missing out on any part of the whole home, just layering in extra pieces to make it cohesive.
Absolutely. And what is nice, and I know a lot of, as all trade shows pretty much do, you can take anything out on approval. I mean, if I can wrap it, Johnny, if we can wrap it, we'll put it in your car. Whether it's a chandelier that you need to show for scale, whatever that case may be, you are invited to take anything out on approval. Hopefully your clients say, we love it so much, and you purchase it. Although I always say, put one thing in they'll hate. That is, just do. And you'll say, oh my God, I thought you were going to love that. And they'll say, oh yeah, you got to give them a little of that. But these are inspiration, and I think Heather.
Well, I mean, I think these next few slides are more just to, you all know, your designers, the importance of accessories, as we've said, but just to kind of show how layering of accessories really just finish the space. It's like the frosting on the cake, or I look at accessories like, you know, one analogy might be like a fashion magazine. You have the little black dress and 5 ways to style it. Accessories can transform a space over and over and over again. And, you know, maybe you have a client who says, I just want to refresh, just re-accessorize, and you've made a new space. So if you, and bookcases.
Go back.
Oh, no, that's
No, it's okay. All right.
Coffee tables.
All right.
Bookcases eat up accessories. It's always so difficult because they can be so, you know, time consuming, costly. So that's again why, back to the point Alexis said, we're very cognizant about trying to find a wide variety of prices so you can offer a fully styled bookcase without your client being like, are you kidding me?
Right.
Like,
Right.
come on. So
It's important.
yeah. So again, and then, you know, Heather was talking about the simplicity too. It doesn't have to be a ton of accessories. It can be very simple, stylized.
Meaningful, just layering in a couple of pieces here and there, just to work with your overall aesthetic.
And then again, just
also. Oh yes.
Sorry.
oh yeah.
Oh.
Should we turn the maybe turn the fan off? Yeah, turn off the fan.
Do it, because we'll be quick and we won't have to sweat out. We'll be fast. Can you turn? Oh, you're turning it off. I know, we've never been able to figure out that air conditioning system. Sorry.
So again, you know, mantles, and there are so many areas in a home that do need styling and accessories.
One thing too, we were talking a little bit about finding those organic, more one of a kind, but even just seeing how like these kind of different shapes can all work together, I thought was very interesting. You know, we're looking at a chair that has an English arm. You know, if you put that in a damask, I mean, that's a very traditional silhouette. However, when you partner it with an organic shaped coffee table, again, the furniture, the accessories can all be really transformative. Oh, color, Heather. So this is also funny. I'm like, we need color. Heather's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do color. I'm gonna do.
We did have
She's
a
like,
conversation when we
about
started. I said, if
navy
you are
blue?
looking for lots of color, I am not your girl.
Yeah. No, but look, you also.
But I
opened
like
yourself-
color. I do. I like color.
Yes, we were talking about, and we'll
Kind of.
go into it a little further on down the presentation, with art or with pillow, with fabrics, how adding a pop of color without committing to like an orange couch can be really fun and can really work. But we were saying about just popping in, just, you know, whether rust or different tones as well as different colors.
I have a question.
Yes.
about the previous slide.
Yeah.
Are you also help source like with the greenery? Not, I'm talking about faux greenery, but like the trees and stuff.
We can, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And actually, you know what, this is a good point, Gail. We've had it in the past where we've had some and we don't have any right now, and I do think we need some greenery.
We talked about that yesterday. Yeah.
All right, done.
Thanks, Gail.
Thanks, Gail. We're gonna do the greenery. But again, it makes a huge difference. It really warms an environment.
Well, adding life to any space always
Yes.
is a good idea.
I 100% agree.
So again, just bookshelves, inspirational, beautiful pieces. This is a company we're going to talk about a little bit later on the right. And this is a beautiful, sustainable company that is just fabulous, just kind of a sneak peek
Right.
of what's coming.
What I love about this too is, you know, it's so funny. We got in some of our new pieces, and Johnny, who is amazing, and Edwin in New Jersey, who inspect everything, they're like, it's broken. I'm like, no, you pay extra for that. It's like distressed jeans.
Right.
You know, the more holes, the better, the more expensive. They were like, okay. If it's a sofa and there's a big
There's a
crack,
problem.
we know. But again, having, perfectly imperfect, I think is such an incredible saying for all of us in all areas of our life, because I think we all are.
And then again, still just some more accessories, things to come.
Oh, there's your bowl.
This bowl I love. It's actually right here. And we loved seeing there's this kind of everything's warming up again, which is so nice. And travertine again
We
was
saw
such-
travertine everywhere.
But all
everywhere.
iterations of it. That
Yes.
one that's more pitted. This one happens to be a little bit cleaner. But just having like things in the home that are, you know, have that energy, that natural energy, and just the striations in the stone. It's its own piece of art, and it's just a simple bowl.
Absolutely. And knowing too that if you source that for a
that
different client, it
beautiful?
would be totally different. It would look different because
It
is
does. Here, I'm gonna
natural.
lift it. It's heavy, but I'm gonna lift it up because it's so pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like gorgeous. It does. She was just saying, it almost looks like wood.
It does. Yes, you're right with the lines and that. It does.
This is going to look familiar, but kind of an idea of just how bookshelves eat up accessories. I mean, you kind of can't fill them.
And we're going to talk about books, which I know are integral, and I've learned so much from Heather about how to incorporate them. You know, not just obviously when they're of interest, but having something that's a little decorative and a little different, whether it's to raise something up, to give it prominence, or to layer, you know, it really can become an important piece of the overall picture. And one thing that we're committed to is, it's always been so funny. So in 8 years, like this wall is like our dead wall. People don't even look. So we're in the process of adding more light. So we want to be able to, Heather's done a great job in grouping them and we've had so many of our clients come in and just say, I'll take that whole cubby. We're like, okay, great. You know, but it's all put together really nicely. You did a great job there. Oh,
Soft goods.
soft goods. I was talking about pillows. We were talking about pillows, yes, and how important they are.
So we are focusing a little bit more on some soft goods. This happens to be a company from Chile. It's all sustainably sourced wools, hand woven, really beautiful. You'll kind of see them sprinkled about the showroom. There's another one on the next slide. Again, this was a new company I'd never worked with before from India, and these are also hand dyed. I think they're vegetable dyed, possibly hand woven, really beautiful. We have these gorgeous, either kind of like long couch or bed pillows come in. These also have just landed. We ordered the fillers, but the textures on these and the colors are just
They're very
out of this
unique.
world.
Yeah,
out of this
very
world.
unique.
That,
There you go.
yes.
Yes.
Well, no, I mean, this is just what I'm drawn to.
It's
I
all
love it, but
influence.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, I'm definitely influenced.
But I
by
will
that.
say too, this is not sort of a one of a kind, you know, so if you saw it and then somebody else bought it and you took a picture of it and you sent it to us, we can get it for you again, which I think is good to know. We actually have a full sample set of all of their samples.
yeah,
So that we
yep.
can, yep.
So now books. I love books.
I feel like, Gail,
I actually
This
have.
is your, this is dedicated to Gail.
Yeah, I personally have a massive collection of books. I love looking through them. I like looking back at them, you know, years later. I love coffee table books. So I said to Alexis, let's incorporate books again, because they are such an important part, and they're a great way if you don't want to commit to color, like this next slide we'll go to in a moment. You can add that pop of color without.
Uh-oh, sorry.
There,
I'm there.
which everybody has seen these.
I know.
But back to one more. This one here, this was this young couple. The guy was a photographer, the husband's a photographer, the wife was not in publishing. She was a writer.
Oh,
I think
she's a
writer.
writer. You're right,
So
she's
she
a
was a
writer.
writer. During COVID, she left her job. They started traveling around photographing these fabulous, this is beach rides, they're producing mountain rides right now. They can, if you have a client that is like a car aficionado, they can photograph your car. It may or may not be published. They can do, you know, they make prints of
They
it.
do
Not
do
prints
prints.
or acrylic.
Right.
They can make art out of it. But it's
Right.
really kind of neat. So if you have somebody, it's a unique gift that you can suggest to your client if they want to do that.
Absolutely.
Or if they have a beach house or if they have a car collection.
And one thing with the books, I will say, people have been asking me for books for 10 years, and I just never felt confident. I never felt like I could curate it. I didn't have enough knowledge. It was a little scary to me, honestly, but I knew how important. So one of the first things we talked about, it was like, oh, we need to make sure that we have access and our clients have access to all of these books. And it was so funny. I actually showed this to my daughter. She's like, oh my God, I've seen those on TikTok. I was like, obviously, because we're so cool, we do whatever on TikTok. It's, you know.
And the books also with that particular company, Asoline, they do have
Oh, yeah.
these
This is
large,
great to know.
this is just a good thing. They're not something we probably would stock in the showroom because the price point is pretty high. Your trade account does, you know, factor into that, right? I think it does.
So with Asoline, what's nice is that we discount, I think, as much as they let us.
Yeah.
Because they do, like, you know.
Books
they
are
only
kind of
let
a
you-
weird
books
thing.
Are weird.
Books are a weird
I
thing.
learned from Heather. So we do 20%,
Yeah.
right, off
Which
of-
is actually for books it's a really good
So
discount.
it's the most that we're able to do. So we try to do that.
But they have these very specialized limited edition, like for example, they have a Formula One book. It may retail for $1,500.
Right.
But if you want that like wow man gift, like that's
Right.
it. I mean, it
And we
goes
can order
into-
it.
Yeah, and it can be ordered, but it's not something we're going to
You're
stock.
not going to be stocking books, but you'll.
No, we're stocking.
No, we're stocking.
Yeah.
Okay. I've seen a few.
yeah.
now, but-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Scratched the surface. We're getting there.
Well, I will tell you, honestly, so many they came in and they went out.
Yes.
It shows that we were really missing this was really a tool that you really needed in terms of accessorizing and finishing off the space. So we're on it. We're going to be reordering. Yeah. And again, too, right, if you do have a client that needs something, always reach out and ask us, even when it comes to minimums, whatever, because we can group an order. You don't ever have to think of that with us. You never have any minimums. I mean, we'll order a pair of stools, and if you only need one, I'll put the other one on the floor. So I don't want that to be a concern ever. So we're always able to do that. Everyone loves a backstory. And honestly, I learned so much from Heather.
She's like an encyclopedia.
She's like an encyclopedia. I've learned so much about both these Heathers. I mean, they can all drive the fun bus. Thank God we all can. We can do a lot of late night dancing as well. But knowing that a lot of these products, whether they're sustainable or what their backstories are, I think are very interesting. And it's a nice thing to be able to share with your clients as well.
So we just wanted to highlight two vendors. This is Rastro, which we did touch on earlier. They are, well, first and foremost, this company is run by a gorgeous group of men.
Gorgeous.
I mean, we were like, it was very hard to concentrate on the product.
Yes. Yes.
But it is.
And they're from Mexico.
Yeah, they're from Mexico. So what they do is they get their woods from, like if there is a natural disaster, a hurricane, a storm, they will gather that wood, helping in the process of the cleanup and produce their beautiful product. Right. So they're helping the country, they're providing work, and they're also producing a beautiful product. So Rastro?
Rastro?
R-A-S-T-T-R-O?
Yes, I think it's 2 T's.
And when something like this happens, the government actually, they're one of the first people that are reached out. The government says, hey, do you want this? Yeah. We have all these trees down, or we've had to clear a road. Do you want it? And they come and there's this beautiful video.
It really is. Well, and I think it hits the sustainability, but still unique.
And consumers are conscientious. I mean, people are becoming more aware of not only what we're putting in our bodies, on our bodies, in our homes.
Yes, absolutely.
So being part of that story is important.
And again, knowing that not every piece, because they do, say we have this on the showroom floor and we can reorder, but no 2 pieces will ever look alike.
Right.
Ever. So I think that's important to know, again, when you're talking to your clients.
And this is a little bit more of their stuff.
This is a little bit more of Rastro. And again, seeing them in different environments.
And there was a beautiful video that they produced, which I think Tracy will probably link to at some point, which does show this whole process. And the videography is breathtaking. Just it's just such a beautiful story. So I'm really happy to be with them.
Oh. Tracy's gonna have a heart attack.
Tracy's having a heart attack.
Listen,
Alexis is getting fired.
I'm gonna get fired.
This is Style Union Home, or Studio Union Home.
No, Style Union, you're right.
Style Union Home.
You're right.
This is somebody that we came across, and we fell in love with the woman. She has an interesting story. I mean, as Alexis is saying, I love a good backstory. I want to know everything about everyone and what they do and why they make what they make, just because I find it interesting. She was the founder of True Religion Jeans, or one of the founders of True Religion Jeans, somehow segued into building homes, and then realized she was having such trouble accessorizing it the way she wanted to. So she created this beautiful line of pottery, and we just had to snap it up. So that will be coming. It's all kind of coated, so it's water safe, food safe. It's kind of got a nice
organic
feel to it. Yeah, very organic.
Different organic shapes. Some color, taupes and gray, so there's a different variety. It's not just all white.
And this, I think it maybe just landed. It should be on the floor next week.
Unpacked palette.
It's it's palletized, so we've got to unbox it and get it out on the floor. But it's really beautiful. Yeah. Some of the other pieces.
Talk about the Varellin collaboration.
Oh yes.
So this here was taken, and we all know how beautiful the Varellin showroom is.
We all want to live in it.
Yeah. And he's not so bad looking either.
No.
All these gorgeous men in High Point. This was a collaboration they did. They were tasked to style with accessories, the entire Varellin showroom for High Point Market, which is it's huge.
Yes.
Really huge.
Absolutely.
So it's it's a new brand, so it's a pretty amazing collaboration.
All right. Wait, I'm going backwards. Sorry, everyone close your eyes.
Close your eyes.
Close your eyes. Close your eyes. I don't know where I'm at.
You're going the wrong way.
Am I going the wrong way?
Yeah.
Everyone close your eyes.
Go the other way.
I'm trying. You just... No? I don't know what.
No.
I just went the other way. You told me not to go that way. Tracy, you want to get me back?
Do you want me to do it on? No, I was right. Keep going. Yeah, there we go. Keep going.
Oh my God, I really jumped.
Okay, art.
Art!
There we go.
I'm putting my finger on the screen so it doesn't move. Don't worry, it's fine. Okay.
So art is, as we all know, is another very important part of design. She's fully fired. She may own the joint, but she's fired.
I don't know what I'm doing. Okay.
So we're back to
I'm not
art.
touching it.
So art, as we know, I mean, you look at this space. There's basically nothing in here, and this painting can kind of carry the room. So art's really important to add. But art, as we also know, can really bring a lot of energy, or it can really bring it down. Like this piece on the right here adds a serenity and quietness to the space. So it's really important to kind of work with that with your client. But as important as that is, take it home. Bring it into their space. Let them live with it for 24 hours. See how the light hits it, how it works with everything else that they own, because it can evoke emotion. So
Absolutely.
art is, I mean, I love art. We also love working with local artists and artisans.
Absolutely.
This happens to be Palmieri.
Yep, Kathleen
K. Palm,
Palmieri.
And she has some hand-painted stuff. There's a piece of her art there.
She's out of Rumson, New Jersey, and so I met her many years ago. She did the Lucite Lovelies that I know were in Bungalow as well, which was really awesome. She does commissioned work in abstract. She's just a really warm, wonderful person.
She has some bigger pieces too. So.
She does a lot, actually. David Burke, who is a restaurateur, you know, he has worked with her in a few of the restaurants that he's opened in New Jersey exclusively to really style and do the place. So she's just an awesome person. She does do fun, great celebrity. Perfect intro.
There we go.
Okay.
And for our fine art photography in the flesh, Allison Monson, if you look around the showroom here, if you see some photographic art, this is Allison's work.
And aside from being an incredible person and so talented and warm and wonderful, what we love about Allison too is that you can fall in love with something and you can change the size, you can do different framing. So she understands that for different environments, you're going to need to do things that are different. And so I think you do that so well in working with the designers and collaborating.
I love that. I think that's just so beautiful.
Right. Again, all very quiet, but very meaningful.
And then this is a sneak peek.
As to what's coming.
There is a lot of color in this.
I was like, we need a little color.
I'm like, all right. So there's
especially
color.
for Jersey. They like color. There you go.
These are some pieces coming in, all varieties of sizes, framing, applications. This is kind of Rothko-esque.
Yeah. So what we were able to do is work with some vendors. So this, I'm sure a lot of you remember Zoe Bios, who came into the market really hot a number of years ago and then kind of like quieted down. It was really wonderful to reconnect with them in High Point. It's so funny. She actually was like, "How's your mom?" I was like, "Oh my God, you know, my mom's been retired for 10 years."
But her art has since been in Elle Decor, Vogue Living, House Beautiful.
They feature women artists. They're a woman-owned business, which I always find very meaningful. So it's great. They can change sizes. They can make something into a triptych, a diptych,
and even
any tick.
Like if you love this piece and you say, okay, I love this, but I cannot stand rose gold. I want it in. I want the metallic to be silver or yellow gold. So it can take it out. Or take it out. It can be totally collaborative.
Yep. This is another example.
Pieces.
Yep. And actually, what we have coming in from Zoe Bios as well. I don't know if you guys remember when they had that. It was like a box of all the little pieces of their artwork. So we will be having that in the showroom as well. So you can, I mean, honestly, there's some great pictures of Heather. We can put them on Instagram of how these two collaborated. I mean, little Heather, you were like, oh my God, I get the vibe. And all of a sudden the two of them were there. And Tracy and I were like, we don't know what we're doing. As a matter of fact, probably my Achilles heel is art. Like I have no idea what I'm doing. I mean, I would walk by and be like, oh, Heather, do you like this? And she'd be like, Home Goods, keep going. I was like, okay, I'm sorry. You do you. I'll just sign it. Approved, done. This was, again, texture.
Yeah, I love that.
Different scales we played with, and knowing that we might have something on a feature wall that is 50 by 60 scale-wise, but you can work with this scale to bring it down, frame it, fit it to what your clients need.
Right, absolutely. Oh yeah, this was Zoe Bios again. Again, I think they do the layered with the metallic better than anyone, honestly, because it's real foil.
Well, their process is kind of interesting
Yeah, it
because
is.
we talked to the owner about it. So they paint it, they print it, and then they paint it, and then I believe they paint it again.
Right.
And then they either do the gesso or the foil, and then they paint it again. So it keeps going back and forth. So it's a many layered process. So even though you're buying that piece, they're not going to be. It's not. You can get something in
never
the
exactly
vein
right.
of, but they're not going to ever be exactly the same.
Right.
So it's
And again,
nice.
just going back to the theme that we were carrying, just about having all different price points. Art is so subjective. I mean, I'm sure some of you have clients who want to go to galleries and want to bring you to things, but it's also equally important to make sure that you have. I hate to call
accessible
it
art.
Thank you. I was going to call it filler art, but that sounds much better.
Accessible art.
Accessible art. When you're doing a 10,000 square foot home, every piece can't be $20,000.
Right.
However, you don't have to go down market. You don't have to compromise on an amazing look or quality. And so I do feel like this is CHC art, Zoe Bios, you can really feel confident that you are selling your client something that's really beautiful, great quality, and will work with like a Roscoe.
And like this one, for example,
Yeah.
we loved this as a grouping, but I specifically liked this one on the end, just this one kind of like crooked line. So we made that one of rectangular. So that's like a 20 by,
Probably we did a lot of like 20s by 30.
yeah, 20 by 30. So that particular one is just kind of this off line.
What was also so great too, I know a lot of times it's easier to do big scale, but it can be important to have smaller items
Bookshelf
as
art,
well for
yeah.
shelf art or in powder
or
rooms.
collections.
Or collections. And so you guys were so instrumental in being able to put all the pieces together, almost like a puzzle. So they all tell a story. They're all.
And then our favorites.
Oh, okay. So we did do a little bit of our favorites. Tracy had to basically babysit us to get this information because we would be like, she'd text and be like, you still owe me your favorites. I'm like, okay. Obviously, it's so hard. This is why I also, a lot of times people will come back and do a trend report. And to me, I feel like it's so difficult because everybody interprets things differently. So I always think it's best to kind of say, oh, here's what my favorites are. Obviously, it's great to get an overall trend. And I will say like travertine,
Yeah, warmth and
peacock.
texture.
That
peacock and
peacock
teal.
green, it's like everywhere.
I know you were a little horrified
like,
at first.
yeah.
And you're like, okay,
Everything's
I can do
green.
it. I can do it. So these were my favorites. This is
We all loved that chair.
This
That
is
was
an
so
amazing
cool.
chair from Renee Caceres. It's just so unique. You feel like you're suspended in air. It doesn't bounce, but you do, like when you sit, you're touching it, like it gives, and you're like, oh, this is so comfy. You feel like
doesn't seem to
enveloped.
make sense.
But it is super cool, and like, it's got angles, etc. This was the Roberta Schilling. We were spiking.
Actually, if you look at the back
Right.
wall behind here, this is an example of that. This happens to be all painted, but it's that same idea with the texture.
Right. This one I think was a carved wood. So it was carved
Really
wood
beautiful.
and then painted. Again, having different kinds of wall art than just fine art, etc. I think was so interesting to be able to bring into
And
an
the whole
environment.
collection was framed beautifully.
What? Oh, Renee Caceres. Thank you.
No,
No.
it's
Because
a great
it does
sit.
give you a little spring.
I learned a lot about the sit. I don't know a lot about furniture. I learned a lot.
And
Yeah.
I learned a lot
We
about
had
the sit.
different heights there. So Alexis and I would sit in something and we'd be like, Tracy and Heather, you
Right.
sit in it to see if it works for a taller person.
Right. No, that is very important, to have that kind of tush test, I call it. You want it to make sure that everybody can sit in it. It is.
All right, Tush.
All right, Tush. Oh, this
Okay.
this looks weird, but
It's over there on the table.
I have to just point it out because it was so unique and so different. And this is, again, an accessory line that was completely new to us. And I'm so excited to be bringing it to the showroom. We can go down and we now have a trucking company. Again, I've never done this. We've only ever special ordered or ordered from the Global Views, but being able to buy off the floor and really say, that's that piece
Like that
I want, that
exact
exact piece, and then having it coordinated and shipped up here, I think has really offered such a good layer that we did not have. So I'm so excited to finally have that. And it is expensive. Everyone's like, you're going to spend that? I was like, I am. Because I think it is so unique. It's a piece of art. Again, you'll never see anything quite like that again. And
I mean, we have it on a dining table. It's
Right.
obviously a little big, but it can be on a large table. It could be next to a fireplace.
Right.
It could be tucked in a corner. Just a beautiful piece of art. It could be put on a pedestal. It's just
Absolutely.
it's just stunning. It's stunning.
What vendor is that?
So
That's like
that-
a one of a kind. It's
that's
like a
like-
one-off.
Yeah, that's textures. They're like you basically go and buy off the floor.
Yeah, you'll never.
Right.
It's
Do they
you.
have those, those funky shaped chairs, like?
You never know what they're
You'll
gonna
never
have.
know what you're
You
gonna
go
get.
in. It's literally like you walk in, and what they have is what they have, and you point and shoot,
Sticker.
And you
and you
sticker it.
walk out. And you
I don't
go
know
the
how
next
they all-
time,
it ended up
and
being correct,
they're
but
never
it
going to
was.
have the same thing twice.
Yeah, and it was all correct. 'Cause
Yeah,
I was like, how
thank
are
God.
they going to do this? But they
gave
do
me like
it.
heart failure.
This was my last favorite. This is their Coggin. This is a new silhouette, playing hooky. Of course, I love the name. And again, I was talking, just having more of these angles. I think we've been seeing it for a while now, but I loved having it in more of a typical sectional configuration, a one-arm chaise with a one-arm love seat. You know, that's been around forever. But just adding the touch of having the rounded arm there and just rounded ever so slightly on that plinth base. I just found it to be really fun. It's their Coggin, so it's so comfortable. So you still get a very chic, modern look, but you don't have to sacrifice comfort, which sometimes you have to do.
They do have a good sit.
They have a great sit.
These are my favorites. I love Zoe Bios. This particular piece I picked out because I loved the way it was framed. I just thought it was really interesting. This can be sold as one single piece. It can be sold also as a diptych, but I just love it like this because I feel like it's a little unexpected.
Right.
And
And you
I
can
think it's-
resize as well, right?
Yeah, you can
all
yeah.
different
This
sizes as well.
Each of these panels, I want to say it's 29 by 60, so this is a sizable piece, but it's going to be that impact piece in a room. This is also Style Union Home. I chose this. I love her line anyway. I love the story. But she has many applications. So these she fills with candles. And then once you're done using it as a candle, you have a beautiful bowl or vase. So I love that. And then this is a teak root table. And it's been kind of bleached out. It's just very beautiful. To me, it's a piece of furniture, but it's also a piece of art. So I love the duality of
This
it.
ended up in Edison. So we have this in our Edison showroom. And again, one of a kind. So this vendor, you can actually reorder. Again, it will never be the
Yeah.
same. So you just have to know
But they
that.
can, I mean, all these places can send pictures. So if you're saying, I need a root
Yes, thank
table,
you.
send me images. And, you know,
And we can work with them.
yeah.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Like Bali and Indonesia.
Bali, Indonesia,
Philippines.
Southeast Asia. I mean, all that
I think
that
they have a
region.
very good reach. So they do all of that.
And most of it is teak, or there's another wood called swar wood, which is very, it works the same way. It's like a very dense hardwood. They say because it's teak, it should be indoor outdoor, but you know when they're bleached or fumed, you just have to be a little bit more careful. It's not like a raw teak.
These are some of my favorites. These chairs were from the E.J. Victor showroom. I just like the natural wood stain color, how it looks like it's almost hovering off the floor with that thick base underneath it.
This is part of that Alfredo Pardes collection, who is just like, he kind of brings an element of fun and
Yeah.
coolness.
And these are in New Jersey.
Yep,
You're currently
these are
a
in
pair in
New
New Jersey.
Yeah. Very coastal for this time of year as well, but you can change the wood finish. So this looks very coastal and beachy, but you could do it in a dark wood finish with a really cool fabric, and it takes on a whole different vibe. Again, I tend to lean more coastal. This is a Palachek table, really cool woven material on the base, and just a warm, nice wood round top. This is also, you can do it as a chair, dining chair, just again, organic, natural.
I love the woven with the wood. And I do believe for that wood top, you can change the finish on,
Yeah.
which is nice. Again,
a
I
mix
will
of
say
materials.
with furniture, you know, we try to bring things on our floor that can be reimagined based on your environment, but you can change the finish, you can change the fabric.
And then this was a
Oh, don't look. Don't look at that one.
a Thayer Coggin chair, but it has a really new, they came out with a bunch of new leathers and fabrics. This is very suede-like, so it had like a brushed feel to it. I just fell in love with the way it felt.
And it sits amazingly well. Again, a really contemporary, interesting chair that really is a lounge chair. You get into it and you're like, I could sit here for 2 hours reading a book, which is great. And they also introduced a lot of their new metal finishes, which was really great.
And that's Tracy's favorite.
Oh, Tracy, this is your favorite. Do you want to tell us about this? So I will.
You see a little bit of everything in High Point.
You're going to High Point. Okay, so you're going to see it all. And I'm not even kidding you. There was an entire showroom of taxidermied. I don't even know what the word is.
There was a stripper squirrel.
There was a stripper squirrel. There was a raccoon.
It was a lot.
This is how we all felt at the end of the day,
and you can do these in quantities of 2 or 4, whatever
But I
you
did
want.
find some beautiful onyx bowls in there.
Yes, she found.
You literally did.
I was like, I know there's something in there.
She found these incredible onyx bowls. I'm like, I can't even stand the smell in here. I've got to go. She has this guy with the big cowboy hat coming over. Just give me the information. We'll FaceTime him. But you have to have fun. And we laughed a lot about this. So this is just sort of like, a touch on everything that we did. It was just so, there's the chair.
Yeah.
Thanks. Again, being able to see things differently, I think, offers such a unique perspective to all of us. And I feel like that in all aspects of our life. And I definitely feel like this is something we'll continually do, whether next market is more of a focus on furniture, because I do think there are going to be so many new introductions from a lot of our favorite manufacturing partners. So again, I do think High Point for October, if you're considering it, it will be worth it. I think it's a great idea.
Just to see the good looking eye.
Yeah, I mean, that never hurts. That never hurts.
I did also hear that Shop Object was going to have a component at.
Yes, I saw that email.
Thank you for bringing that up. So for those of you who went to New York Now, which has all gotten a very, you don't want to even waste your time, we ended up being at Shop Object downtown for much longer than we were at New York Now. And we did hear a rumor that they were negotiating to bring it to High Point, which I think would be so exciting. So to have more of that European, more of the texture, again,
it's like more of the makers. It's the people actually, the artisans making things. It's not a lot of manufactured, smaller production.
Exactly. So. Yeah. So that was it. I don't know if anybody has any questions. We have Allison in the over there. But thank you guys again. Yes.
So what, you mentioned texture, angles, teal, green. What do you think the overriding themes and trends were?
I know we've been saying this for a while, but traditional floral prints. Floral prints are everywhere. I love them on a dress. I'm starting to get to understand them in application, but florals are everywhere. I like going back to those tea-stained. Remember the tea-stained florals? What was it? Domain? Does anyone remember Domain or Shabby Chic or all of that? It's coming back. Mm-hmm. It's coming back. I will say even slipcovers, they're not quite as overscaled and oversized, so it's more tailored, but absolutely prints. Florals are big. Birds, which are not my thing. They were on a lot of different fabrics. I see them even in fashion. What is it, Farm Rio? It's like, I think they're super cool. I could never wear it because I just have a thing with birds, but they were everywhere. Again, those rounded edges versus like hard angles. Not that there's not a place for it, but really mixing them up and having more traditional pieces with more contemporary pieces. That was a big theme. What do you guys think?
Also taking facets of more traditional pieces and modernizing them a little bit, which is something that just natural evolution of things.
Right.
But I did see, there is this kind of pull back to some of those traditional lines. And
I think people want comfort.
Yeah.
What we've all been through. It's meaningful, and as we all know, it's always a cycle. So my mother once said, she's like, if mauve ever comes in, I'm out. Comes back, and I did see it, so she's been out for a while, so it's fine. I said, don't worry, Mom, I didn't see it. She was like, oh, I can't stand it. But it is true, like everything kind of circles around, but always with a modern twist or a different type of twist. Yeah. Good. Anyone else? Yeah.
What are some of your inspirations and what draws you to some of the pieces that you've been choosing?
That's a good one for you. I do whatever she tells me to do.
You know what? I honestly, it's almost like I don't even know how to describe it. You'll just walk into a place and it's a visual thing. It's like to touch it and to feel it. And I mean, you're not necessarily smelling it, but you know when you pay like a piece of fruit, you see a piece of fruit, there's something about it that
Calling to you.
it does. It just like, you know, not to go back to the bowl,
yeah.
but it's just like you if you're drawn to touch it, like I'll be in a showroom and I feel like I'm touching everything.
Right.
And I don't know, I just feel
Well,
like
one thing I did learn from you, Heather, and then I think Heather M also, watching the process and really starting with, you know, like a story, right? So again, when we were talking about the pillows, I mean, it was like chaos. She's pulling pillows, and again, I'd be like, what about this one? She's like, it doesn't work in the story. I was like, okay. She's like, we can put it to the side and then we can build another story around it. That's fine. But it really, and I think for us being in a showroom and what we're choosing to purchase and bring here to inspire all of you, we want it to make sense and look cohesive and then let you rip it apart if you want to do, of course, how you interpret it for your clients. So I do think following sort of that path of a story.
And that's what was unique working with Heather, alongside Heather, was she comes from this big background of accessories where I'm like the furniture person.
Right.
And I have a flair maybe.
She's
but
amazing.
watching Heather start to pull things and like see where her story was going, I was able to jump in. I felt comfortable working with Heather and it became very collaborative and fun, and I learned a lot from watching Heather work.
Right. And also the good thing to know, I mean, these are all team members who are here to work with you. So if you're working on a project and you want help, you know, with some sort of inspiration, we're here. That's what you guys know, my whole mantra is we want to be here to support you so that you feel like you have all the tools in your basket to then support your clients. So it's not just what we bring on the floor. We start there because we want it to be inspiring and inviting. We want to make sure we have, you know, each of our main manufacturing partners, because there is the technical, right? There's so much technical to design. This is really the pretty and what pulls it all together. But we're here to work with you if you're working on art and you want to work with Heather and just sort of curating spaces. I mean, Heather M, you were pulling things together. It was amazing. Yeah, Gail.
Sorry if I missed this. So now that you have sort of this accessories story,
Yeah.
aren't we able to just shop off the floor?
Yes.
Yeah, we want you to come in, touch, feel, bring it to your client. If it doesn't work, bring it back. Hopefully it does work so you
And
don't have to
actually,
lug
like,
it around.
Heather, you had mentioned, Gail, like when things would come into bungalow. One of the things that I also think we are much better about now is if we know of a project you're working on, and now we're getting in things every day. Poor Donna E, who does all of our finances, she's like, there's more packages coming. It's like the Amazon guy coming to your house.
They're like,
I was like, it's gonna be
"Send
great.
Heather away."
It's gonna be great. But you know, if you have a project and we know about it, as soon as things come in, we can take pictures, we can email them to you, we can text them to you, however you like to get it. And it's kind of nice to get an inside tip in a first, okay, hot off the press. So we're gonna be better about that.
That would be my question, just because we're based on, you know, Fairfield.
Yes.
Traffic. So like, is there going to be sort of momentum on Instagram to be showing like what's
Yes.
coming in accessory-wise, because there is so much.
We're trying to do like unboxing videos and sneak peeks, sending pictures to Tracy to put on our Instagram.
Do videos of me
Yeah.
walking
Also,
around,
I'll
which
always
I
say
hate.
with the designers that I know, and I hope to get to know all of you guys, I can say, like, when that Beach Rides book came in, I was like, you better send that to Gail. Like, that's right up her
Right.
alley.
Right. So the more we learn
So,
and collaborate
you know, things
with you,
things like that. Like,
Right.
you know, you know, somebody came in, hey, you know, this is right up so-and-so's alley. Maybe
Right.
just shoot them a picture of that. They maybe they have a project they're working on that it would work in.
Yeah,
Right.
that's great. We used to do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, 'cause
And it's something as easy as if you as designers are open to it, a text, just like
Right.
a
Right.
dirty showroom photo, like
Right.
click send,
Right.
which doesn't take much time because you all have vision. You know, you don't need it styled and you know
Right.
it. You can say, okay, I get it. I need that box.
But to answer the question too, Tracy, is we are really working on that. That's part of the initiative. So that's going to pick up momentum. Yeah.
And what's the approval policy?
The unapproval policy is like if we can wrap it and put it in your car, you could take
Like
it.
how many days?
So I'm the worst offender. So if you ask me, I'll tell you, wow, how long it takes. Here's the thing. We try to say 72 hours. Sometimes that's just not possible. You have a client who's traveling, et cetera. Just talk to us. That's all we really ask is just communicate with us. If you know that you need to take something for a week because you're styling for a photo shoot, the photographer's coming and then your clients are coming back 2 days later and you want to say, actually, it looks so amazing. I'd like to keep it a couple extra days till my clients come home. Just let us know. Just let us know. Sorry, Allison.
So you may kill me for
Oh,
saying
no.
this, but, I was amazed when I was down at High Point how many designers are actually there now. It's not all retail,
Which is right.
big showrooms. So that being said, have you ever considered doing a tour? I know how busy you are when you're there, so I don't know, maybe you guys could take on something like that. I don't know, is that something you ever considered taking on your designers?
That's a really good question. What I typically do. Let's do. So what I typically do is I always share my calendar with, if somebody asks me, I share the calendar. If somebody tells me they're hitting it on Tuesday and I've already flown out, we can make appointments for you. You can, listen, I have been approached to do it. I love Wakefield. They do it. They do a great job, honestly, Allison. And I think he takes people around and it's his passion. I don't know that I would ever be the tour group. But I think there's like a nice in between as well. And a lot of times we intersect, which is so awesome that we're kind of all on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
We
God.
saw them all the time.
We're partying with them all the time. But maybe there is something that could be a little bit more organized. I'm open to anything. I want to do what our clients find meaningful to do. We did, thank you, Tracy. We did talk about hosting something down there. I don't know if it's a kickoff or a headshot event, something a little different just to sort of kick it off. So we're thinking of all of those things. But please, and I was going to open it up, as you're thinking about different lines, our best lines that we end up partnering with come from our clients. They will suggest things to us and just say, listen, I'm not going to hit a minimum, or I just don't want to deal. I can't deal with the claims part of it. We find most of our best partnerships via our clients. So if there's something, and actually like the pillows, Trico, remember Nancy Galosso was like, oh my God, I was just going to show it to you. I was like, we already got it. We're done. We bought it. She was like, yes. Share with us. Or if you find that we're missing something, please email me. If you need my phone number, my email, please reach out to me, call me. We want to know, because we want to, again, just keep evolving. Every business has to evolve to meet the needs really of what you guys need for your projects. So again, as you're thinking in the next couple days, walking away from this, what can we do more, or what can we bring onto the floor that's more helpful to you? And I would say too, I'm sorry, probably all the artwork is going to be landing in the next 6 weeks or so.
Yeah.
But did you guys visit the American Leather Show? Because I was there.
We did not get to.
We did not get to it.
They have some really great new products, and
Yeah,
what's great about them is they're so good at engineering.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
They're the best.
Yeah.
American leather.
Now they've started to improve the design,
Yes.
and
And their lead times are great.
Yeah.
they are so fast. Their
Right.
quality is impeccable.
Right.
And I think
It's an amazing
their
line.
showroom is really great.
Their showroom is terrific.
They
Unfortunately,
have the best showroom in all of High Point.
did you really? They were in Showplace,
Top floor in Showplace.
right? Which was the same building as the school.
That place was overwhelming.
And four hands. So I love American leather. Unfortunately, because I wanted to focus on something new, I didn't get there this market, but I was there last market. They're innovators, and so they always have the engineering to back up the style. They're driven by engineering and by form and by function, and then they think about the styling and speed. Exactly. So they ship out of Texas. I think their lead times now are like 4 to 6 weeks. Don't quote me. But, on some of those quick frames, and I want everyone to know it's not just leather. You could do a COM, you could do a fabric, right? You can change finishes on wood, configurations. We're just known for sleep sofas, but they have just, right. And side note, they're kind of sister companies with Lee Industries, so a lot of the technology in terms of their sleep sofas, they've shared with Lee, which has also been really great. Yeah, which is great. Anything else furniture related, or you want to toss out? I know we didn't hit a lot on the furniture, but nothing? All right, well, I guess that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap. Thank you guys again
Thank you
for coming.
guys.